You're welcome to Discussion Zone. This is Sandra Kwashi. You can simply call me Sandy or Sandra, either way it goes. So today I have a wonderful lady sitting with me here. Her name is Philippa Ama Bentuma Arthur. I mentioned it right.
Right,
Yeah.
perfect.
And she's the festival director for the Black Star International Film Festival. And today we're going to have a little chit chat with her all about what happened last week. Because apparently last week there was this amazing festival. She's going to brief us about it. But we're going to talk more about the mission of Black Star International.
Mhm.
First of all, tell us what this organization is about.
Okay,
And its
thank you
mission.
for the opportunity, Sandra. It's a pleasure to be here, Africa Global Radio. Thank you. So yes, the Black Star International Film Festival was founded in 2016 by Juliet Yasanto Asante, with the aim of supporting independent filmmaking and filmmakers. Independent filmmaking and filmmakers because, there are a lot of talented filmmakers who do not have the opportunity to show their talents, to show their projects. And BSIFF started as an opportunity to help filmmakers navigate the business of film because we have several people who have the talents but do not have the business aspect of it. And when you look at it, what is the business aspect of film? It's really distribution and marketing. Because when they've done the film, how do they distribute the film? How do they market the films? And that's where, as a festival, we come in to say that, okay, we would give you we would look out for the global players and give you the opportunities to get your film to them. And if your film is good, you end up on several platforms. So that's really the ethos of it. And beyond that too, we educate. Film education is also one very key part of what the festival does, because we have, when you look at Hollywood, Bollywood, Nollywood, you can tell that, their filmmaking, there's been some sort of depth of knowledge that they have that goes into it. So global standards in terms of knowledge, we need to bridge those gaps. So then BSIFF comes in and says, okay, how do we bridge the education gap? By bringing in facilitators who can educate these filmmakers and educate aspiring filmmakers, actors, and whatever to improve the knowledge gap and to bridge that gap. And generally, for all that we do is really for the love of film. How do we nurture the love of film in Ghanaians and in the youth that are coming up? How do we grow that love and make that love fill all of us so that we can go to the cinemas and watch films from these independent people? So those are like the mandates of the festival.
So is there a specific, amongst all you mentioned, was there a specific thing that inspired, everyone has a story behind anything they come up with. Is there a specific thing that inspired it? Or is it just all of these things you mentioned as a collective?
Well, if you look at the history, for lack of a better word, film festival, there are people that attempted to do that but never succeeded until BSIFF came in. And it came in with the story was basically to improve independent filmmakers and, advance independent filmmaking. And there are several festivals in the world. Every country kind of has a festival, from Cannes to Toronto International Film Festival to Africa International Film Festival, which is in Nigeria, and several other film festivals. But Ghana didn't have a thriving film festival. So the Black Star International Film Festival, I would say, is the thriving film festival in Ghana, and it brought a lot of it brought the industry together, especially for young filmmakers. It's brought several people together. At the time it started, nobody knew what a film festival was, but it created that narrative. It created. We've had over 4,000 submissions from all over the world. We have submissions from all over the world, and that shows you that the world accepted the festival, and we have several films coming in every year. So, yeah, I think the basic story behind it, the history, was that we needed to have a thriving film festival that can connect cultures, can connect people, and can make independent filmmakers better.
So how would you say it has evolved over the years?
Mm. Evolution. The festival has always, I think it's evolved positively. And I am one of the evidences of that evolution, because the festival uses volunteers every year. I'd say that the maximum volunteers the festival has used before is like over 100 volunteers for a week. And I was a volunteer in 2019. And
That's interesting.
yes, and I became the director of the festival in 2020. So that shows that the festival has room for growth and provides room for opportunities for growth for young people. And so all the volunteers that we pick every year, we definitely look out for volunteers that can advance from just volunteer to joining the key stuff, to ensuring that these things are, whatever we do is projected. So yes, it has evolved in terms of human capacity and the capacity building that we provide. In terms of programming, I think it has also evolved. This year we had 43 countries submitting to the festival. That's a lot of evolution.
Between Africa and outside Africa.
Global.
Like which one is more
prevalent?
Yeah.
We have a lot of submissions from the US.
Okay.
And then we have from France. And then I think Nigeria comes third, even before Ghana.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's unfortunately that.
Would you say that this is just a question I'd like to ask? From what you said most of them are from the US. Is it mostly from the Black American community?
The diasporan community.
It looks like, it seems to me like they're more passionate now about Africa, I think, than even us Africans.
Yeah.
Sure. But it's a good thing. And we hope to see more fruitful stuff in the next years.
Yes.
But can you share some highlights of some of your past events of the festival?
I mean, this year or generally?
Yeah, from beginning.
Of this year's?
Yeah,
okay.
Of the past events.
The past events. I mean, film screenings are at the core of the festival because it's a film festival. So film screenings are the main program. Then every other thing is also an aspect of film screening. So yes, we have the films that screen at Silverbird cinemas throughout the week of the festival. Then of course we have the master classes, the workshops, the panel sessions. We have the panel sessions bring together the industry where we discuss relevant industry topics. And then we have a program that we started, which is also around films, which is called the Shorts on Shorts. It's more like an entertaining way of presenting film to the youth. Because usually when you're not watching film that you do not know, because, most people want to go and watch the blockbusters. Yeah. But independent filmmakers, people don't really know them. So how do we have an entertaining way of showing the films and the youth also enjoying at the same time? So the Shorts on Shorts is a shorts program that brings, young people together. We watch films, you grab some shots, the DJ plays the music. Then of course...
the shots, the alcoholic shots somewhere.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, okay. Well, 18 and above, so...
Yes, 18 and above, yeah. And then we have the Black Star Awards and closing ceremony where we award, the talented filmmakers whose films submitted. So the films that submitted to the festival go to a jury. So the jury actually look at the films, judge them, which film is good and blah, blah. And at the end of the festival, we award those deserving filmmakers. So that's really like the programming of the festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does this include those who do, these short films on YouTube that we see every now and then?
That's a very interesting question, because if you look at the evolution of film, now content creators are also filmmakers. We cannot deny it. Mm-hmm. So we are also doing a lot of work to reach out to these content creators because, and so, like you said, things have evolved. Content creation just came out of the blue, and now you have your typical YouTuber doing a short film. So how do we bring them together is where we are also working at actively, because they are also filmmakers and they need to know that they are filmmakers. They are moving like they are not filmmakers, but they actually are. So we're also doing a lot of work to bring them to the table.
Okay, so how has the festival adapted to changes in the film industry, and such as the rise of digital platforms and streaming services?
That's a good question. I think the festival has always been in person until COVID forced us to go virtual. And when COVID forced us to go virtual, we always look at now, okay, how do we blend this whole virtual thing with the live thing and all that? In as much as digital streaming platforms have evolved, we also need to ensure that cinema doesn't die. I don't think cinema is ever going to die. The experience of going to the cinema in person and going to watch films and blah, blah, it's not going to die. But we need to also ensure that there's a culture of film, of people attending or going to the cinema to watch films. And of course, when it comes to distribution to digital platforms, we also ensure that some films get onto those platforms. The films that submit to the festival this year. This year, we have one of our distribution partners has already brought a list of films that they are going to distribute to several platforms, including Netflix, Mansa, Rock. So it's we cannot deny that we need to blend the two, the digital and then the in-person. But so that's what we are also actively trying to ensure that maybe next time the films not only stream or show in the cinema, but we also have a place where people who cannot go to the cinema can also stream the film. So
the world has gone digital. The world has gone digital now. So
but the world important. we cannot go digital fully, otherwise we lose out on community and we lose out on love and bond and so
and that's where the cinema
the synergies have to.
But when you were talking, I realized I didn't ask about on stage performances like the ones Uncle Ebo White does. Is it a part? Does it cover such?
Well, you can say once it's visual media, it all comes into it. But we have not explored theater yet.
Right.
This year we did a workshop on stage acting.
Okay.
But I think that theater, per the plans that we have, is an area that would actively also go into theater and television, because we need to film, theater, television is almost the same thing. And so actively we'll look at, in the coming years, we'll look at how we bring theater and television into the conversations we have at the festival.
Okay. So what would you describe the state of Ghana's film industry? And it's a heavy question.
Yes, it's heavy, but I always like to refer to the facts and the figures that have been put out. I mean, when you look at the UNESCO report on the film industry in Africa and the film industry in West Africa, you realize that Ghana is not entirely doing badly at all. Because per their reports, the UNESCO report, which was, I think, 2021 report, they say that, Nigeria, which is the biggest film market in if I'm not exaggerating, in Africa, they produce about 2,500 films a year.
Wow. 2,500
movies a year. And Ghana produces 600 films a year. Now, juxtapose that with the population size. Nigeria has a population size of millions, and Ghana we're just about 13 million. Yes, if I'm not.
Yeah.
If
I'm not mistaken, I learned the portion of Ghana is a portion of Nigeria.
Yes, it's just a portion of Nigeria. So if we are a portion of the biggest, and the biggest is producing 2,500, and we are producing 600, we are not doing badly at all. Now the question is, the 600 we are producing, where is it going? What was the quality of the 600? Is where the conversation needs to be had. So in terms of production, we are not doing badly at all. So I would say that the industry is improving on that level. Also, the fact that governments introduced a regulator to manage the film industry is also something that needs to be applauded, because when you look at the several film economies in Africa, not every African country has a regulator. And so the regulator here is the National Film Authority. So they are trying to bridge the gaps and correct the errors. So something like licensing is something they are addressing, which is extremely important, that you get licensing before you shoot your film, or so I think that's also a plus. And so I'll say the industry is not doing badly at all. And like Kwanzaa, I heard Kwanzaa say on a stage, he says that when we are crying for government to make some changes in the system, we should also look and ask ourselves, what is the quality of our production? Because again, like the festival, what we do is providing the business opportunities. Now you have done your film, you've presented it. We bring it to the investors. Are they interested? Would they be interested in your film? And that would solely be based on the quality of your film. So several times we have other African countries being selected, and we don't have Ghanaian films being selected because now the opportunity has come, but the quality is not good. So as filmmakers, and the quality conversation is also a long one, because then it comes to education, it comes to skill, it comes to capacity building. So we may, I think we are fairly doing well. We just need to beef up our education, beef up the skill, and that's why the festival exists.
Would you say that we have the people who can train people to, like what you just mentioned, we have the people to make these processes, feasible or possible, but would you say that we don't really have the people to train these people in having these processes successful?
I think we do. We have a whole film institute, UNIMAC, Film and Television Institute, former NAFTI. It's a whole institution that is training top filmmakers. And I'll tell you that there are top filmmakers who have been trained by NAFTI, who were trained by NAFTI.
Yeah.
University of Ghana also has a film department. They do the best they can in terms of storytelling and all. Products of these are Ajita Anan, products of these, the winning award, the short film that won the award, Otokono, most of the filmmakers are from NAFTI. So we have the skill, we have the institutions to do that. But you find that most filmmakers do not have training. I mean, most filmmakers are, we creative people, we like to do katashi a lot. So, a lot of people learn, on the go. And so when it comes to seeking knowledge, I think that we still have some gaps to bridge in that regard. And we do well to also complement the professionals we have here with professionals from outside. So as the festival, as we are blending in professionals to teach the young filmmakers and aspiring filmmakers, we try and also say, okay, now let's take the global perspective. Who can we reach out to? Which school can we reach out to outside that can do a workshop, that can do a master class, to help? So we have the professionals, but also we can't be islands. So we need to also reach out to other people in the game who are doing the best.
I was even about to ask, like, for you to elaborate on the partnerships you've had, and collaborations you've had for this festival.
Okay, great. Local partnerships, of course, we are partnering with the film schools, University of Ghana. We are partnering with UNIMAC Institute, Film and Television Institute, NAFTI, and then of course we are partnering with GH Media School. Outside, we partner with Indie Rights. They are a distribution company. We have partnerships with Black Market Records. They are like a music recording company, but they also help with education in terms of some master classes that are relevant to creative people. We've also had partnerships with Nigerian institutions, like even AFRIF. The founder of AFRIF, Choma, has come to Ghana to the festival to do a whole workshop. She's attended the festival because for us to win as Africans, it can't be a sole partnership. It needs to be a collaboration. And so in my daily dealings and my daily seeking of partnerships, I'm looking for how can we come together, collaborate, and tell the African story, and so those are some of the things. We've also partnered with some what's it called agencies that help bring us some films that people can see.
Okay.
And there are lots of top films that have also premiered in the festival in the past, like Black Handsman premiered in the festival, several other that Yadi premiered in BSIFF. It had an African premiere in BSIFF. Several top Hollywood films had their African premiere in BSIFF. And all these were achieved through partnerships that we forged.
So, can you tell us what impact you would want to have, Black Star International, we would want to have on the future of the Black and African diaspora cinema?
Impact we would want to have. We want to be a platform that channels the best and self-expressed filmmakers ever. A platform that gives them the opportunities for their films to be seen and for their stories to be told. And how do we do this? We are doing this by reaching out to the top distributors to get their films seen. So it's always joy when I see like a festival film on Netflix. This lady called Life. There's a film on Netflix. This lady called Life is submitted to the festival. You see it on Netflix and it fills you with joy because then a lot of people are seeing the film. So that's the kind of platform we want to create. And we want to create a community of people who are called Black stars, championing and shining like the lights that they are supposed to be, and actually causing a change in the industry. So we run our membership thing where we have people who want to join the community, subscribe to join the community, and then we have conversations throughout the year about how do we improve, about how, so that's the plan. To create a community, to create a platform where filmmakers and creative people get business opportunities and deals for their film projects.
Okay.
And also to create a platform that provides global education.
You just mentioned a movie on Netflix. Is it the only movie you have now, or you have more than one?
No, so for Netflix, that's
for Netflix,
that's the only movie that we have that has gone there. Okay. But like this year there are several opportunities. Sometimes when the opportunities come, the filmmakers also reject it because it's more business, so it's more of agreements and percentages, and so sometimes maybe the deal is not good for a filmmaker, so they may reject it. So yes, but so long as we bring the deal, we've done our work, and that's where it ends, because we do not interject in the deal, the process at all. It's up to the filmmaker and the distributors.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And one thing, is it from, I had to check your name again, as in the name of the festival, and I realized it's international. So is it that it's a corporation that covers outside Ghana, not just in Ghana, like the way we have the Ghana board for movies? Do you also cover movies like the movie you just mentioned that had gone to Netflix? Do you cover movies from Nigeria and other countries in Africa?
Yes.
And does it also go beyond Africa as well?
Yes, it goes beyond Africa as well. So it's the reason for the international is to emphasize its global reach. So we have, like I said, this year 43 countries submitted. Those 43 countries, irrespective of where you're from, we'll push your film. We'll try and get people to see your film, to push your film, and it doesn't matter where it is. Also, we intend, this is a long-term goal, but the intention is that we replicate the festival in different parts of the world, and in other, maybe our 10th anniversary, we'll probably have it in Cape Coast. We are traveling with it. It's a traveling festival. We are not just here. But Ghana is its home. but the long-term vision is to replicate it in other parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what should we expect from next year's festival?
I mean, next year, of course, the team is still thinking through what next year should be and look like. But I can assure that if this year was 70%, next year we are hoping to make it a 90%. So definitely more great films, engaging films, definitely more rewarding partnerships that help filmmakers and project filmmakers. Definitely a stronger community of people supporting the festival, and maybe a more advanced and boosted marketing effort into projecting the festival where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, before we go, I mentioned that I was going to ask you about Bentuma because I realized you had a long name, but you preferred Bentuma.
Yes,
What's the story behind it?
Well, that name was given to me by my grandmother on my father's side, and my father's mom. And for some reason, I never used it. So it's Bentuma is like more like a reinvention, I'll be honest. In the past 2 years, I sort of woke up feeling like that's what I should identify myself with. And I never got the meaning, but what I strongly felt it meant, which is the most important, the feeling, is that say it bena in 2 minutes. More like when you come close, like you can't come close, like conqueror.
Yeah.
Undefeatable. Like, that kind of thing.
Right,
and that's how
empowering.
Yes, empowering.
Yeah.
But I had a conversation with Kwanzaa just 2 weeks ago, and then he said that there's a meaning for my name. And he told me that in those infanti, that whenever they say Bentuma, it means that the problem cannot be solved, So it's like Bentuma always is the solver of the issue. And when the problem cannot be solved, then it's more like it's a Bentuma situation, that the problem cannot be solved. But Bentuma means somebody who can solve problems. And that's what, so I mean, it's not so far away from what I put on myself.
That's a bit of history there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So it was nice talking to you.
Same here,
unfortunately, we would have to end here. Yeah. So I've been speaking to Philippa Ama Bentuma Arthur, who is the Festival Director for the Black Star International Film Festival. And yeah. All right, so before we go, I found out that James, our very own James, is a part of BSIFF. Yeah. I'll let him speak a bit about it and whatever. But you mentioned something about moving from a normal volunteer to now you being a festival director, and I think that's big. So I don't know what position he currently holds there. He's going to share with us. So James,
with regards to the Black Star International Film Festival, or BSIFF as you rightly introduced it, I went from attending it in 2017, 2018, falling in love with it, and then becoming an ambassador to the film festival, I think in 2021, and I've been an ambassador ever since.
Wow. So how many years now?
3. It initially started as a 2-year partnership, but why do you end a good thing?
Yeah.
And it's been so amazing when you are interacting with the team, as in the BSIFF community itself, when you're interacting with the independent filmmakers, finding yourself in an ecosystem that you really didn't know anything about, but you now don't want to leave. Is further proof of the amazing qualities and skill sets that Ghanaians have. And by Ghanaians, I mean not just the filmmakers, but all other creators that fall into this space. Because we have set designers, we have makeup artists, we have sound engineers. Because I remember 2 years ago, I think the theme for it was
Film for Jobs.
Film for Jobs. And then the next one was music in film. And then this time it was tech in film. So you see, I've paid attention.
You have. Amazing.
You can see she's even shocked.
Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing, Jay.
And that goes to show you how much they are constantly evolving, because every year there's a new film.
Okay.
Yeah.
As much as it's similar, it's completely different, because the workshop I attended in 2021 and then the one I had the pleasure of attending this year were like apples and oranges. As much as they're all very nice foods you want to have, they'll have their own unique
So
abilities.
as you go through this, you keep elevating, even as a person, in your knowledge and also in your position in the company. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so hopefully we I don't know which other position you're going to be holding, but I'm looking forward to it, because he seems very passionate about it. And I felt like, okay, James and movies. I know James and sports, but James and movies, that's something really unique. And yeah, that's all we have for discussion zone today. Bye.